Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Higgins. I am doing a project on the power of artificial intelligence for neurodivergent learners and how we can utilize artificial intelligence to specifically help neurodivergent learners in a lot of learning situations, from professional settings to academic settings. We're going to go over some of the purpose, research concerns, some diversity applications and needs associated with neurodivergence in the classroom, and then specifically artificial intelligence for neurodivergent learners in the classroom. The first thing that I want to do is discuss the audience topic and importance. So the target audience for this project is educators and learning and development professionals with a focus on teaching or creating instructional material for diverse learners, in particular neurodivergent learners. The project focuses on two AI technologies which is found in the literature. The first one is large language models, or LLMs, and adaptive tutoring technology, which can be a variety of different software. We explore use cases for their effectiveness at treating cognitive and social challenges in neurodiverse populations with a focus on cognitive challenges and emotional processing. Neurodivergent learners historically fall through the cracks in a lot of settings, academic and professional settings, in particular educational settings too. That's why it's imperative that our design and facilitation practices change as we begin to understand more about neurodivergence and how people think. The ultimate goal of this project is collaboration of academics. So it includes a lot of educators, psychologists, academics, undergrad, grad, it doesn't matter where they are in their academic journey, facilitators who may not have an educational background, which happens frequently in the private sector. I know from firsthand experience, as well as just whomever has parents, whomever has a really big interest in doing this work and seeing how this work evolves. They can submit academic work and multimedia to feature on our website, including self-written ones through our blog process. And they can also share research project initiatives that they're working on to this community to find resources and some collaboration between members. There were a ton of findings in this project that I found. Most of the things that I found were focus problems, as well as just some other problems within the way that we conduct academic research on neurodivergence and neurodivergent learners. The first one is that there is a lack of research focus. There's not a whole lot of data compared to neurotypical individuals. Most of the studies also have small population sizes and population samples. That's a big thing. Another thing too is that the majority of the existing research really just focuses on social skill improvements instead of cognition. Even in domains studied and focused on by researchers such as robotics to improve social communication, we really have mixed outcomes from those initiatives. This is kind of the state of the entire community as far as what is actually out there in terms of research, and we're going to go over a couple of examples that I found in the literature and a couple of other slides. Before we dive into that, though, it's important for us to discuss the problem of diversity. Research on autism has issues with underrepresented groups and marginalized groups, such as people of color and individuals from lower socioeconomic classes. A lot of the population sizes population samples in these studies come from what are called research databases, which is just basically lists of people, which overrepresent white individuals from middle to high income brackets. So there are a lot of social and economic discrepancies when it comes to the population sizes and over and underrepresentation. This also bleeds into the non-English speakers, which are frequently excluded from research studies, and female populations who are consistently underrepresented in both diagnosis as well as in the research itself. So there are several applications that have happened in the literature and have happened in the academic community and learning settings of artificial intelligence in neurodivergent intervention in terms of education. Current research does remain sparse, and implications of artificial intelligence concerning the autistic population is even less common. And findings on post-secondary applications proves difficult, as most research on autism focuses on children instead of adults. So there's still a bit of a huge segment of the population of people who have a lifelong disability or a lifelong neurodivergent condition, and they are largely underrepresented in the literature. Um, in a couple of examples, the first one is that in a very large cross-functional study, or in a very large meta study, um, of the thousands that they found, 13 of them applied to the actual parameters of the study itself. And then most of those studies targeted social skills, emotional recognition, and social communication, and only 3 of them targeted cognitive challenges. We incorporated several technologies for this. The first one was Webador, which is the publishing software as well as the design software for the website. We also utilized Discord for social media to reach out and to do a lot of our collaboration and peer review. And then various media applications. So YouTube was a big one where we're publishing studies as well as importing videos from YouTube, from various creators. AI podcasts through Notebook LM. So a few of our research topics that were publicly available, I converted into AI podcasts so that way people could listen to it for accessibility. More of that's going to roll out in the future. And then also we used Office and Copilot in order to create the the presentations, PowerPoints, and things like that. We utilized AI in that capacity as well, or I did, I guess. So briefly, I wanted to just talk about some of the changes that we made throughout the project. The first one is that from the feedback that I got, there was a lot of just blank space, and there still is a lot of blank space in some aspects of it, but in others we kind of made it a little bit more graphic in terms of the pictures that we put up there. There's also an explicit navigation on the home page, so that way people can access multiple different buttons, different websites that are associated with the project. The videos component went from a grid style to a more feed style. So as you scroll through, you'll see the title and then the video of each one, as well as you can search by video by topic. I also decided that I was going to combine the news and updates. So the project news and the blog went from being separate pages to being one combined page, and then added a few graphics in there to make it a little bit more polished. One of the other things that I want to deal with is that some of the feedback that I received said that this project was not very interactive, and I agree with that. The project isn't really designed to be as interactive because it's more about learning and advertising the Discord server and things like that to get the community kind of involved, and then also do publishing. So as the site evolves, that might change in the future, but for the purposes of the collaborative aspect of things, that's what we wanted to accomplish, and that's what we did. But it did take a lot of feedback in terms of where things needed some improvement, where we needed to have a little bit more interaction. So that's what you see here. Conclusion here for the project overall, AI does have significant applications for neurodivergent learners in a lot of contexts. Autism research in general has significant problems which range from population size, empirical practices, and inclusion of marginalized communities. And finally, my project seeks to go ahead and bridge that gap from what AI can do and how we currently implement it through collaboration, awareness and initiative. So I'm really hoping that this project does grow over time. Sources will be posted at the end of the video. I really do look forward to working with whoever has an interest in this project and whoever wants to join me on this project after this class. I think that's really important. So thank you very much.